Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about all of the players that we all should be keeping an eye on for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Week 14 matchup versus the Minnesota Vikings. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into the first player that I want to talk about, which is going to be the quarterback himself, Tom Brady, who so far this year has not had a bad season. 28 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Those are great numbers in my opinion compared to how quarterbacks have played in the past for the Buccaneers. I will take those numbers every single day of the week. But it is worth mentioning that the team is 1-3 in their past 4 games, and this is going to be a very crucial last 4 games of the season. I feel 11-5 and 10-6 has got to be the overall record that the Buccaneers should try and get here. 9-7, that's not a great successful season in my opinion. You'd probably still make the playoffs, but still, I mean, if you're not getting double-digit wins, that's a lot of work that is being wasted there. And then finally, 8-8, 7-9, you would expect some big changes to happen if something like that were to go catastrophically wrong. That's doomsday scenario there, essentially. But Tom Brady, he has been around the block a couple of times, I believe, and he knows the importance of playing these last 4 games in situations like this. He has been in situations like this before. So I'm going to be glued on to Tom Brady here for the last 4 games, see how he finishes out the season, how well he does. He really has an outside shot looking in terms of an MVP award or anything like that. I don't think he's going to get that at all. But, I mean, you never know. If he just absolutely plays amazing these last 4 games of the year, he could have a decent shot maybe. But regardless, I have my eyes glued on Tom Brady simply because of the fact that it's crunch time, and there are not many people who are better in this league in crunch time than Tom Brady. So let's see how the GOAT does in these last 4 weeks of the season, starting versus Minnesota. The next player I have to keep an eye on is going to be running back Ronald Jones, who is on pace right now to finish with over 1,000 rushing yards, with significantly less carries than all the other running backs who are going to finish with 1,000 rushing yards. It's very disappointing. I feel like if you gave Ronald Jones more carries, he could probably either A, be the number 2 rusher in the NFL right now in terms of yards, or B, he may even be the lead rusher. Now, I know that's a bit of a stretch. There's a lot of good running backs out there right now. Dalvin Cook's playing phenomenal as always, and there's some other running backs like Nick Chubb, among others, who have had great seasons this year, but Ronald Jones has been right up there with those guys. I want to see Ronald Jones make the Pro Bowl. I think it's possible. I've been voting. I hope you guys have been voting as well. He deserves it. He's been playing a phenomenal role in the running game. In the passing game, he still needs to improve on greatly, but his job as running back, he's been one of the top guys in the entire league. So I look for him to continue his success versus the Minnesota Vikings. The matchup of Ronald Jones versus Dalvin Cook is just a very fun matchup to me. They're both very good running backs, and I'm excited to see how both of them do. So Ronald Jones, let's see how he does. He's not going to hit 1,000 yards in this game, but maybe next game, maybe the third game, the second to last game of the season, he'd probably be, right around that 1,000 yard mark. So yeah, let's just keep on watching Ronald Jones be great, and let's see how he does against what is usually a pretty tough Minnesota Vikings front 7. The next player I have to keep an eye on is a couple of players. It's going to be Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean. Now, Carlton Davis is coming off of a very not fun game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, he's technically coming off of a bye week, but the game before that, Tyreek Hill had 200 receiving yards in the first quarter against Carlton Davis. Now, I have already talked at length about how, quite honestly, that was not fully Carlton Davis's fault. He should have had more help because it's Tyreek Hill. I really don't want to see people, saying, Carlton Davis sucks, he's trash. No, there's not. I can't name a cornerback in this league that can run beat for beat with Tyreek Hill, who is, again, one of the fastest human beings in the entire world. So Carlton Davis should have had some safety help there. But that aside, Carlton Davis is still coming off of a game where he struggled against Tyreek Hill. Even if it wasn't entirely his fault, I mean, that can harm a player's confidence. So I'm going to be interested to see how Carlton Davis bounces back against this matchup where Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, those guys are no joke either. They're two of the best wide receivers in the league, one of the best wide receiver duos in the league, and Carlton Davis is going to have his hands full with Adam Thielen. But I feel like Adam Thielen is a much better matchup than Tyreek Hill because, Adam Thielen's not one of the fastest human beings on the entire planet, unlike Tyreek Hill. Now, Adam Thielen's still very fast, but it's definitely much more of Carlton Davis's speed. And, it's one big physical wide receiver versus one big physical cornerback, and I'm excited to see how that matchup goes. Justin Jefferson, I expect to be matched up against Jamel Dean a lot, who is coming off of some concussion problems. He did not play in the Chiefs game, but he had that bye week off, and now he should be good to go versus the Vikings, and that's just speed versus speed. Justin Jefferson's been probably the best rookie wide receiver. In fact, I don't even think it's much of a comparison. Justin Jefferson's been the best rookie wide receiver of the year so far this year, and Jamel Dean can match him speed for speed. Jamel Dean is one of the faster cornerbacks in the NFL. He's certainly the fastest cornerback on this team, so let's see how these guys match up. I'm excited. This is another one of those matchups like I've been talking about the Carolina Panthers games where the wide receivers of the Vikings versus the Buccaneers cornerbacks, it's just a really fun matchup, and I really do enjoy it. So I'm excited to see how that goes. I think the Buccaneers cornerbacks will bounce back in a big way, and I'm excited because I want to see Carlton Davis and I want to see Jamel Dean succeed. The second to last player I'm going to mention here is a little bit of a little bit of a stretch of my rules here, but it's the entirety of the front seven for the Buccaneers defense. And I don't think it's necessarily a secret as to why I have the entirety of the front seven here. They are there for a lot of reasons. You got to put pressure on quarterback Kirk Cousins. If you do that, Kirk Cousins is prone to making mistakes. Now, Kirk Cousins does have a history with the Buccaneers, which I will talk about here in a future video, but getting pressure on Kirk Cousins is going to be huge. The Minnesota Vikings offensive line has been banged up a lot for many, many years now. It seems like whatever GM the Vikings have over there, whoever they have, helping make decisions, they don't invest a ton in the offensive line for some reason, and it's definitely hurt them in some ways, especially in terms of giving up pressure on the quarterback. So the Buccaneers should try and take advantage there and get their pass rushers going to try and pressure quarterback Kirk Cousins. But another big reason is Dalvin Cook. The Buccaneers have, in my opinion, probably the best run defense in the NFL. They have been slipping a little bit the past couple of weeks, but I still feel like they're at least top 3 run defense in the NFL. And Dalvin Cook's no joke. Dalvin Cook is one of the best running backs in the league, so let's see how they do. I've been saying that for multiple weeks, and for the Buccaneers front seven, where I say, hey, this guy's one of the best running backs in the NFL, and the Buccaneers shut him down. So we will see if that will maintain the course here versus Dalvin Cook. I always get nervous about these matchups, but then the Buccaneers front seven always finds a way to stop him in terms of the run game, and that's a big cog of the Minnesota Vikings offensive machine. So if you're able to stop Dalvin Cook, you really hamper what they do as an offense as a whole. So I'm excited to see this matchup. I think the Buccaneers front seven will hold up. They have held up against similar best running backs in the league time and time again the past couple of years, and let's hope that they can do it again now versus Dalvin Cook. I'm not going to set anything in stone, but I'm excited, and I feel somewhat confident. I don't want to say confident, but I feel good going into this matchup here with the Bucs front seven versus Dalvin Cook. So pay attention to all those guys, not just for the run defense, but also for putting pressure on quarterback Kirk Cousins as well. Finally, guys, the last player I'm going to mention, it's not a player, it's the entirety of the Buccaneers coaching staff, because people are still being critical of Bruce Arians, and he has had some weird quotes lately in one of his most recent press conferences. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just go look them up. But overall, Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich, not so much Todd Bowles, but there's been a lot of people who have not been happy with the Bucs offensive coordinator and the Buccaneers head coach for a lot of different reasons. And I agree with some of the reasons for being mad at, Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich. I agree with some of them. I don't agree with all of them because I think some of those reasons are absolutely preposterous. They're stupid. I don't agree with them. I don't want to say they're stupid, but I don't agree with them. I don't know what to say about them because I just think they're a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. Maybe a little bit of an overreaction, maybe a little bit of an overreach. It's not stupid or anything like that. I don't want to call anybody stupid, but a little bit of a reach in terms of some opinions on Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich, and some of it's just hateful talk, honestly. But the point is that there has been a lot of criticism thrown at both of those guys. Some of it understandable, some of it not so much. So let's see what happens. Maybe the Buccaneers coaching staff has been outcoached a couple of games so far this year against the Rams, against the Saints twice now, and the Minnesota Vikings coaching staff is a very good coaching staff in their own right. I have a lot of respect for Gary Kubiak and Mike Zimmer. I think they are both wonderful coaches, especially Gary Kubiak, offensive coordinator. He is really good, but he's going to have a tough matchup versus Todd Bowles. I'd be more worried about Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich going up against Mike Zimmer, because Mike Zimmer is a very good defensive mind. Bruce Arians is a very good offensive mind. I'm just a little bit worried about Byron Leftwich. He's a little bit inexperienced as an offensive coordinator, as a game planner and things like that, and he could struggle out of the gate if the proper corrections and whatnot were not made during this bye week. But guys, with that being said, I'm going to end off this video. Let me know what you guys thought about all of the players and positions and all those different types of things that I mentioned down in the comments section below. And what are some other players that you guys are going to be keeping an eye on for this upcoming matchup versus the Vikings? But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.